Good morning, everyone. Welcome to a brand new edition of the GSMC Basketball Podcast brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. As always, I'm your host, Mayor Fatemi. We saw the conference finals start last night. The Western Conference, specifically, we saw the Thunder and Timberwolves go at it in game one. And honestly, what was a great game. The first half was, we saw the second half being a much different story than the first. The first, Timberwolves trying to keep it close, take an early lead into halftime, a 5-point lead exactly to go into halftime. And then we saw the Thunder simply just take over the game. It really just was. Takeover is just the best word to describe it. Forcing turnovers, making shots, getting to the free throw line. It was just a phenomenal all around game from Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Alex Caruso came up big in this one. Jalen Williams continued to prove why he's a legitimate number two option for this Oklahoma City Thunder team. Just a phenomenal all around win for the Oklahoma City Thunder. So we'll dive into that topic to start off the show. From there, we'll switch gears over to the Timberwolves side of things. Actually, we saw Anthony Edwards kind of struggle, especially in the fourth quarter of this one. We saw he didn't really have the best offensive game that we've seen him in these playoffs, and whether that has to do with rust from the last series against the Golden State Warriors, he wasn't asked to do as much, or whatever the case may be. The Timberwolves. We'll dive into the Timberwolves side of things as well in the second segment. From there, we'll also discuss the Indiana Pacers New York Knicks series that's set to kick off later tonight. That is a phenomenal series. Jalen Brunson versus Tyrese Halliburton. Just honestly going to be a phenomenal, probably 7-game series as well in that one. And we'll dive into the question: is Jalen Brunson really a top player in? Is Jalen Brunson the best player left in the NBA playoffs? Um, I heard this debate yet last night, and I thought it would just be interesting to bring to the show and give my thoughts about it. Um, and yeah, to close out the show, we'll discuss Giannis Antetokounmpo because we keep hearing his name being linked to the Golden State Warriors, being invited to Steph Curry's. I think it was like Steph Curry's. It was some private Warriors party. Everybody from the Warriors franchise was there, including Giannis. And then we keep seeing his name popping up around San Francisco. So I'll give my thoughts about that and the potential of what would happen if a Giannis Antetokounmpo and Steph Curry decided to team up in today's NBA. But before I move any further, I'd like to remind you guys to please like and follow the show for more GSMC Sports Network content. Also, we get a number of questions from viewers that come in during the show, so to ensure that your question gets read on air, I ask that you use the tips and donations link at gsmcpodcast.net. This puts your question at the top of the list so I see it, and it also really helps out the show. Again, the link is gsmcpodcast.net for all your questions and comments. But let's get right back into it here because this is honestly, this could be this could be a packed show. The way I'm thinking about it right now, I'm thinking it's one of those. It's gonna look like a quieter show, but who knows? We could dive in, get some comments in here. We'll see how it goes. But let's dive in. Let's get the show on the road. The Thunder take over the second half of Game One, and honestly, what was a phenomenal Game One of the Western Conference Finals. The first half, it was kind of both teams going back and forth. Not Anthony Edwards, Julius Randle spearheading the Timberwolves offense, going off for 28 points. On the other side, it was Shai Gilgeous-Alexander going for 31 points. Both teams just really going back and forth in the first half. And the Timberwolves actually found themselves ahead in this one early on with a 5-point lead going into halftime. However, I mean it when I say it was a Thunder avalanche in the second half. It really an avalanche is the best way to describe it. 114 to 88 being the final score. 38 to 18 outscoring the Timberwolves in the third quarter. 38 to 22 in the fourth. It was just the Thunder taking over in the second half. It really was. I'm trying to make sure I remember the stat exactly. The steals disparity in this one. You guys remember when I said they had 16 steals against the Nuggets in Game 7? Well, the league might be cooked because if the Thunder keep playing like this, they're not losing. if the Thunder have figured out how to play defense again at a high level, the way that they have in games in back to back games now with multi-digit steals, this league might be. I mean it when I say this league might be cooked because I don't think anybody's beating this Thunder team. The way they play fast-paced offense, the way they're able to get back in transition, that's what the Timberwolves kept doing. They kept trying to push the pace just like the Thunder. And the players on the Thunder, Lou Dort, Alex Caruso, even Shai, were getting back and just picking them off like uh like their NFL cornerbacks. Just get stepping in front of passes and intercepting passes. Um I mean it when I say this Thunder team looked phenomenal last night shooting the ball. I mean, not shooting on the defensive side of the ball. Shooting the ball, they didn't even shoot. They only shot 21 3-pointers in this game. And they're a walking example of why the Celtics meta or Celtics analytical strategy of just shooting the three over and over again doesn't work. And you can win games without just shooting the three. The Thunder shooting 11 of 21 from three last night. 41 of 82 from the field. Like they took quadruple the shot. Only like a fourth of their shots was threes. Not even a fourth. It was less than a fourth. So, yeah, honestly, it was a phenomenal game plan from the Thunder. They're going to continue to play at a high level like this. The Timberwolves on the other side, actually, I'll leave that to the next segment because I said, yeah, we're gonna split this series off into two segments. We're gonna discuss the winning side and then we'll discuss the losing side and what caused them. So we're gonna keep this segment solely drifted we're gonna just talk about the Thunder. I keep trying to use big words and I'm just like it's not working. But Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, 31 points, 9 assists in this one. Just an all around great game. And this is what you're supposed to do if you're the leader of the team. Taking 27 shots is more of what you're looking for. You didn't have the most efficient 31 points, only shooting 10 of 27 from the field. But being able to get to the free throw line the way that Shai did, regardless of what people might say, there are people that are saying out there that Shai gets calls that he shouldn't get. And I think I used to get mad at it the days that we saw James Harden getting flop calls. Who else have we seen do it? I remember James Harden did it. Yeah, I can't remember. I think yeah, I remember James Harden did it. I think there's somebody else, but I can't pick up on his name. James Harden did it, and now Shai's just kind of following in his footsteps. So if James Harden was getting those calls that he used to get, I'm not shocked that Shai is now. And people can whine and groan and moan all they want about it, but it is what it is. He gets those calls, and you kind of just gotta live and die by it. It is what it is. But um, yeah, 21 of 26 from the free throw line, 11 of 14 for Shai himself, um, and 3 steals as well for Shai. So all around great performance from him. We know how he can be as a two-way player. He's one of the great two-way players in the league today. And it's the big reason why he's an MVP candidate. But, and I say but, if the Thunder want to win this series, I think if not, he needs to play. I don't think the Timberwolves are gonna play as badly as they did last night. I don't think we're gonna see another repeat of that. And there's a specific stat that I'm going to mention in the next segment. So stick around for that. I'm literally keeping everything about the Timberwolves for the next segment. But the Thunder specifically, if they're able to play the defense that they had played last night, Alex Caruso leading the way. My goodness, Alex Caruso was everywhere last night. He was hitting, especially in the second half, hitting shots just everywhere. 9 points for Caruso, 3 for 3 on threes. Just a phenomenal game from the young man. And we know he's one of those great young players in the league. But he's really proven his worth with the Oklahoma City Thunder. We saw him kind of doing the same thing with the Lakers. We said the Lakers made a mistake when they decided to trade him just because Caruso is a great two-way player and you don't see players of his caliber these days. Um, On the Bulls, we saw him struggle a little bit, but since he has made his way to the Oklahoma City Thunder, he has regained that title of one of the great two-way players in the league. If I had to compare Alex Caruso to anybody in the league that I could think of, even from back in the day, um, the only guy I could really think of is probably a Marcus Smart. And if you guys can remember Marcus Smart back in the day when he was a defensive player of the year, wing defender, or even a Drew Holiday when he won defensive player of the year. These guys are both offensively gifted and defensively gifted. They use their defense, but what makes them great, to great, is you see players like Dyson Daniel, Amon Thompson being at the good level. Then you see Drew Holiday and trying to think of another, even maybe Giannis, but Giannis is his own player. But I'm saying when you have when your offense can match up with your defense, or sometimes you can get hot as a shooter, and you're a great defender. I think your worth goes from good to great, and you can become an exceptional talent, a very unique talent. I think that's Alex Caruso, and that's the home. He's found a great home in Oklahoma City now, and he's going to continue to thrive there. I think, and I think this Thunder team really could make it to a championship if they continue to play the way they did last night. I really think so. I said the Timberwolves are going to win it all. I said the Timberwolves are going to probably win this series. And I still think it's going to be a long series, but the Thunder really shocked me last night, man. They shocked me in Game 7, and they shocked me again last night. If they continue to play the way they have been, I don't know if anybody can beat this Thunder team. Maybe a healthy Celtics, but even then, nobody's able to play offense and defense the way this team is. Nobody. Nobody. Maybe teams are able to play offense, but nobody's able to match up the intensity that they have defensively. And I think that's what changes the game on this entire situation. But I'm gonna leave it on that note. I'm gonna take a short break. Coming up next, we're gonna switch gears over to the Timberwolves side of things. What went wrong for the Timberwolves in Game 1? We'll discuss Anthony Edwards because he struggled. Um, he had probably one of the worst fourth quarters I've seen him play, especially in the fourth quarter, especially in a playoff game, especially in a conference finals. This is a big series for Anthony Edwards here, and he did not start on a great note. Um, but yeah, you're watching the GSMC Basketball Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. Don't go anywhere.